Hey guys, what's good? You're watching Cat's Corner episode 16, and today we have a very special guest. He is a comic book author. You also do write too. You're a screenplay writer.
Yeah, I moved here to write TV, but I'd consider myself more of a comic book writer.
Got it. Okay. And the name of his book is Tales from the Noisy Water. And yeah, give it up for Luke.
Hello.
So Luke, so I came into the store a few weeks ago, and Kat's like, hey, this guy came by, dropped off some books, want us to check them out, and I picked up the book. I bought the book. I read it.
Thank you.
It's pretty. I like the
yeah.
art. I really like just the tone to it, and the story was like, yeah, that can relate to about 99.999% of the people that read comics.
Yeah. But tell us, how'd you get into writing comics?
Yeah, well, first, the artwork, like I was saying, Caesar Palma, who did the artwork, he really killed it on the book. But how I got into writing comics, there's 4 other stories of Tales from the Noisy Water online. This is the first one I got printed, and I've been writing them for I'd say, I think it was 2013 was the first one that I wrote, and then got an artist, and then got that online. And I got into it basically because I loved comics.
Okay.
And I mean, I'd been writing, short stories and that kind of stuff throughout high school and whatnot. And I had interest in screenwriting and whatnot. And I think it was actually when I went to Emerald City Comic Con, because I'm from Washington, which is where the book takes place in technically my hometown or home county.
Got it.
Up in Washington. And I went to Seattle Comic Con and just, talking to creators and just how do you do this? How do you get in? And the main piece of advice they all gave you is just start making comics. And so that's what I did. And I've always been a fan of the sort of grittier, darker crime genre. And the idea with Tales was that I'd never been anywhere, I'd never been in any big city before I moved here. And but I always loved The Godfather and Heat and that kind of stuff growing up. So I was like, can I take that sort of epic crime stories that I love and then scale it down to my sort of small town feel? Right. And then put it into a comic.
If that's the case, so this issue was pretty. It had that small, like you said, it had that small, not too big feel. Again, it could be anybody, anywhere. You know, and no, it came out. I mean, it read really good.
It's a real porn shop.
Yeah, on the street in my hometown.
Make sure he knows you gave him props. But that's the way to do it nowadays. I mean, it changed back in 2001 with the whole script to TV thing. People got away from scripts. Everybody wants this now. It's so much easier to make that move over from this to TV than passing your script.
Well, it establishes a story too that can get turned into a script.
And the thing with comics though too, I think, is there's certain stories that you can only tell with comics. Not saying that this is.
Oh no, you can easily translate it into movies too.
But it's a unique medium to work in and write in, because it's I don't know. For me, at least, I almost feel like I have. Well, it makes sense though that I have more creative freedom writing comics than with a TV or screenplay. I think because a lot of that's because I don't have to worry about budget.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 different beasts anyway. They're 2 different beasts, and you have more room to, like you said, as a creator, to play with this. But then once you get opted and you go, then everybody starts pitching in. But at least you have a foundation before you go in, and when people start dictating what wants changed or not.
So let me ask you something. This is issue number 5. You said the first 4 were online.
Yeah.
Are all these stories one-off stories?
Yes.
Okay. So they're all contained in their own.
Yeah. It's the idea was always it'd be a crime anthology, basically like Pulp Fiction, but in a small town.
Got it.
So each one is like a self-contained little thing, but they have little Easter eggs that cross over. Like, example, bit of a spoiler alert: the couple that comes into the porno shop in this one, that guy is the guy that gets killed in the very first story.
Oh.
So
okay.
There's little fun Easter eggs like that.
Okay.
And there's another one coming out in a couple weeks. Hopefully, it's getting color right now, and I'm thinking I'm going to print that one too. And I don't know if I'll put number 6 on there because that might have confused some people, which I hadn't thought about before I printed it. But yeah, all self-contained.
Okay, and so what made you want to print this one as opposed to the other ones? How'd you get around to that?
It's a funny story, honestly, because the whole thing was I posted it online, and I posted it on the subreddit to my hometown, which is Bellingham, and then the local shop there reached out and was like, hey, we'd like to sell this if we could and maybe do an event. And then I was like, oh yeah, great, because like that was my shop back in the day. And then so I got it printed because that was kind of what prompted it. And then someone there has some kind of weird beef with me, and then they said they didn't want to do the event anymore.
Oh wow.
And I was like, and I mean, I don't want to get into like the politics or whatever, but it was really weird, and I was like, that sucks. But at the same time, I still got my book printed, and now I'm doing this.
You're
and I've got it at a few other shops around town, and I'm selling at the coffee shop I work at. So it's working out great. And I mean, it's probably the best one in terms of artwork that we've had.
Has it been the same artist the whole time? Or?
No, because the idea was that it would be a different artist for each story too, to kind of keep with that anthology style. And so far it's been 4 different artists. So one guy who lettered this and basically colors all my books. Charlie, yep. Yeah, Charlie Uding, great guy, who I've never met in person, which is the funny. I never met Caesar in person either. But he did 2 of the stories. He did like everything on 2 of those. But and then Caesar did this one, and he and I might be working on another one as well. That would involve the 2 biker characters that are in this story.
Right.
But yeah, so.
And on the financial end, how is it working out, the print from that end? If people wonder, it's like, oh man, is it worth this doing? I mean, there's the worth of getting out and you go to a producer, they see it, they have it in mind, but financially, how is it rewarding? Is it, what's your take? I know my take on it, but.
I don't plan to make any money on selling it. I'm selling this, particular issue. And you mean just how do I feel about selling
I guess how much is of the loss are you taking? Because some people might want to print their own book, but then if they find out, oh shit, it's gonna cost me 10 grand to make 50 books.
Yeah, because
are you using local printers like US?
No, okay. So I'll just break down and kind of print it so I printed it through a company called Print Ninja. They print their stuff in China, and it costed a little shy of $1,000. And I printed 500 issues.
Okay.
So 16-page story, which honestly, for the quality, it's like
it's a real. I mean, it's better than most other stuff I sell on
and that's who I'll probably go through again for my next book. One of my very close friends, Corey Waters, who I did a special thank you at the back of the book there. He pitched in and paid for half of it. So in theory, I paid about $500 of my own money to it, and I mean, I'm selling it at my coffee shop for straight $3 a piece, and I get paid that directly. And I've made back like a little over 100 so far. Which is, I mean, the thing is any money I make or whatever, even though I'm not going to actually make, it's just going to go into the next project.
Well, no, that's the thing, because the goal is to get somebody to, and you never know who walks to your coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Take this, goes, sits in an office, goes, man, this is a really good TV show.
Yeah.
Or a movie or something. I mean, with this, you have doors open, which is great. And it's a good looking product, man. I mean, it's got a great cover,
the cover itself is like, it's got some weight to it.
It's very recognizable. I mean, you can put it next to a Dark Horse or an IDW book, and you can be it's right there. You don't lose a beat with it. I like the book. It was a really good story. Like I said, I laughed.
It was that was a fun one to write. And the funny thing is, I wrote that like 3 years ago too, just to give you an idea of like how long this stuff can kind of take.
Not to get too personal, but this is not personal experience with somebody because it sure feels like it's like every other guy that I know.
I mean, like one thing, the mask that he has, that was which is a vagina mask or muzzle. I got that idea because me and my buddy one night, we were just walking down, like going to some bars, and we walked into this bar and this metal band was playing, and one of them, like the bassist, had that on his face, and I was like, that's hilarious. And then I was writing the story and I was like, oh shit, he needs something to like hide his face. And I was like, well, you could do that. That'd be kind of funny. So There you go.
That's a good idea. No. Yeah, that stood out for sure. So when we start the book, there's like a short story on the inside cover as well. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that, my buddy Bruce, who kind of did the artwork behind the little short story there, he was the one that, I guess you could say, suggested that I do something like that. And that was just a little like prose sort of tonal piece to kind of shift you into the world in a sense, not in like a continuity way, but more of a tone. And that was sort of just a free form sort of prose thing that I wanted to do. And the whole character that the man that he's talking to at the bar, that's supposed to be kind of like my take on the Raven, who is the mythological trickster god of the Lummi tribe, which is the Native American tribe up in Whatcom County, where I'm from.
Oh, very cool.
Because the county Whatcom is what it's called. Whatcom in Lummi means noisy water.
Oh.
So that's where the title.
That's
so it's
cool.
Tales from the Noisy Water. So it's Tales from Whatcom.
That's
and
cool.
I a little tidbit here. What I'm writing right now, I think I'm going to sort of implement that little Raven character almost in every story as a little side character that kind of ushers the characters into their sort of chaotic adventure or whatever they're going to go into.
Right.
Sort of like a Twin Peaks kind of thing, because I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since you're a fan of Twin Peaks, why don't you, like, what are some of your influences? What kind of...
Okay.
By the way, guys, this happens every episode. You know, one of us is leaving.
Sorry.
Running a business here.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Influences, I mean, Twin Peaks, David Lynch, I would say. For the next story that's coming out in a couple weeks, that David Lynch is definitely an influence on that. Also, Coen Brothers, Tarantino.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, I've been more influenced with my comics writing by television and film.
Got it.
Than, at least in terms of story, and which is kind of funny. There are certain comics that I've still read. Like, I think Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run will always be some sort of influence to me, because I love and a lot of that's because of David Ajay's artwork, though, because that like blew me away.
Right.
But yeah, Coen Brothers, Tarantino, Lynch, Michael Mann, Heat, specifically Coen Brothers like Fargo.
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men, Pulp Fiction. So yeah, I think that would cover my main influences.
It's interesting because when I read the book, the Ed Brubaker was screaming in my head.
Yeah.
Like even like the color scheme and stuff kind of reminded me of what he does with Sean Phillips and the criminal books, you know.
Yeah, it's because I mean I've read some Brubaker, but I haven't been. I'm more into Greg Rucka than I am into Brubaker.
Okay.
I guess. Not that I don't like Brubaker, but I don't know. I mean, I hope that you get some comedy in this book, like
right.
like a dark level of comedy.
There is definitely,
I mean, it's kind of hard not to be funny with a vagina mask.
Yeah, exactly.
You're robbing the porn store, really.
Yeah.
That right there.
So
what are you gonna steal?
And,
it's all free on the internet. What the hell?
And I mean, Brubaker seems like he's very serious in a lot of his stuff, and maybe that's kind of where not that I don't like serious stuff, but I in terms of the comedy element, that was very much a Coen Brothers sort of vibe.
Yeah, the dark comedy
sort of like the
thing
absurdist of Fargo or even Big Lebowski.
It's never this busy.
It's literally
never
today. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, that's cool, man. Are you reading any books currently? Are you still?
Yeah. So I'm
like this is definitely like a pulpy type book. So
yeah. I'm actually I am about to start, which is old, but Sin City, because I'm just like reading through a stack of graphic novels.
Okay.
I've read some Sin Cities, but I'm reading I think it was the last one that he put out.
Yeah.
I can't remember which character it is, but I'm about to start that actually today. In terms of books though that I do enjoy that are still being put out right now, I really like Deadly Class.
Okay.
By
Remender.
Yeah. I think the artwork in that is amazing, and I just really like this sort of punk vibe to it.
Right.
And I'm trying to think what other contemporary. In truth, I'm reading a lot more like novels and whatnot than comics. Like I'm reading through Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian right now.
Got it.
Which I don't know if you've read that. But
I've heard a lot of stuff, but I haven't read it. But I've heard
which is tonally kind of in the same vein of things that I enjoy. reading some Lovecraft, which is cool.
Okay.
And then also Homicide, which is by David Simon, who created The Wire.
Okay.
It's like he hung out with the Homicide Police Department in the 1980s for a year, and that's just because it's a great look at kind of procedural police life, and that's not like I want to do a story pretty probably in a couple more that focuses on the tribe, the Lummi tribe police force, and that I kind of I want it to be, even though it is a little heightened realism, I still want it to be realistic.
Okay. Have you read any of the Parker series?
I have read a little bit of the very first one, but I've heard very good things.
Okay. They should check it out.
Would you suggest
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely. It's great stuff. I mean, it's the same character, but it definitely fits the tone of what you're writing here. So I suggest it a lot. I've watched all the movies. None of them, they don't measure up to the books at all.
I will say really quick, Lazarus by Greg Rucka is another great series that I really, really dig. And I feel like there's more stuff, but there's probably too many things.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, Lazarus by Greg Rucka.
We're at a time right now where there's content everywhere, comics, streaming.
It's insane.
It's hard to cram everything in. It's like you're gonna miss a lot. Whereas even 10 years ago, you could keep up on just about everything, but now it's overwhelming. So
you mentioned something which was, I just saw this movie on Netflix. The Jeremy Renner movie, Wild River, or
I've heard of it. I can't remember.
And you mentioned the whole Indian thing. I was like, because I just saw it, and I was like, man, that's so cool. Because small town. I mean,
my roommate told me I should check that movie out.
You should check that movie out. It is.
I am reading by Jason Aaron. Another Jason Aaron. Southern Bastards is a great book. Like Southern Bastards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm reading for the first time Scalped.
Scalped. Yeah.
I finished volume 1 like a month or so ago, and then I picked up the second 2 volumes. Yeah. But that's great, and that's like very much up my alley, especially because I want to delve into some like Native American.
Brief cameo by Adam Jones, the guitarist for Tool, if you guys are fans
of it.
Right on. Sorry, I had to interject. But yeah, no, Scalped was. I mean, I heard that was that was in development or still in development somewhere.
So,
yeah, that would be cool. But
there's a lot of properties that have been purchased, and they're still like.
And yours could be right up there, man. It's good stuff.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, and the hopes is I'm gonna keep doing the tales, and then I'd like to do something like epic tales from the Noisy Water, which would be more of like a long form, focused on one character. But
I mean, I would start if you got 4 digital, 5, and you think about 6. That's those 6 right there is your trade paperback.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about it.
And I would suggest, I mean, try it. Because you end up in Barnes and Noble, Amazon. Everywhere else.
You can also sell them at shows. You could
well, that's one thing I want to look into is because I was looking, it's like $200 for a table in Artist Alley.
It gets expensive, but you start with
Well, that's not much in my opinion.
No.
Like $200 is a good deal for a table. Like at the Portland Comic Con Rose City.
Right.
That's $200, and I think even WonderCon was $200.
But there's other shows. You got Comic Revolution coming up in Ontario. That's a fresh show. It started by 2 guys that ran Long Beach, and they got pulled in the industry. I mean, you can pick and choose your shows.
Yeah.
But it's a good way of carrying your product into your business card.
Yeah.
And people do go to these shows and they do look for stuff, and you're there. You got 4 issues, 5, 6.
I think that's the thing is I got to get a couple more things printed, and then
most trades are 6 issues deep.
Yeah.
So you're good at 6 again, especially since it's a anthology book, so you don't have to have too much to it, and just look for low cost. Get a trade paperback out there.
Yeah.
And carry with you. I mean, I don't have time to go online to read it, so it would be nice.
There's other things you could do too, like whatever college you went to, you could always try to hit up.
I didn't go to college, but
well, then you can't.
No, it's true though. There's plenty of other
yeah.
things to like avenues to go down.
Absolutely. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else you're working on you want to let us know about?
In terms of things that are being published, no. But yeah, I mean, I'm working on some other comic book stuff that outside of the kind of crime element. I would say this is my bread and butter, so to speak. But
No, I was gonna say, let people know where they need to
Yeah,
go
what
for
website?
your
so
website.
The website to read. You can even read this one that got printed for free on there. Is noisywatercomic.com, and they're all up on there. We're gonna be doing an update. I mean, it's still all readable and everything right now, but we're doing an update on the site. Like a new logo's getting done and everything to kind of make it look a little more fresh.
And you said you have it in shops in LA.
Name
the stores, please.
I've got it at House of Secrets, which is up in Burbank. There's Comic Bug over in Culver City, and they might have put some in their Manhattan Beach spot as well. And then there's Mega City 1, pretty sure that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And then Collector's Paradise up in Pasadena, and I think I have it. One more Comics vs. Toys up in Eagle Rock area.
Okay. Yeah.
I
He also has it here at DJ's Universal Comics.
And I think that's where I got it at right now.
Okay, no, that's good. That way, whoever watches, if they're close, you know, you get out there and support. I always say, put the iPad down, go out and support support print, man, support talent,
and
support
it's a
ideas.
book.
It's a great little book, you know. I wouldn't mind seeing this on a TV show personally.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see.
You know.
We'll see.
Well, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And good luck out there.
We made this happen.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. Stick around for our picks.
Hey guys, so today we're going to debut a new segment called Read It, Flip It, Hold It. And today, starting this new segment, we really don't have too many flip its or hold its.
It's a mediocre week.
Yeah, it's not the best week. I mean, we're still going to have like 35 books for you guys to check out. But let's start out with DC. What do you got?
Well, you got Action Comics 1000. I'm real disappointed. I mean, I haven't read the book, but it's a bunch of short stories, and I'm sitting here going, man, and it feels like literally they're just waiting to end this so they can give the book to Bendis so he can do his merry thing, and it's like, dude, you're getting to issue 1000. Yeah. Give me something.
Yeah.
Give me something big. Shit, I read Thanos last week, and that was big. And it's not even issue 1000, it was issue 18.
It's a bit disappointing that it's like a round number and it's a huge issue.
Superman, man.
And the covers, like there's like 17 different covers and none of them look good. They're not
nothing. It's just it looks boring.
It's funny we're trashing a pick of the week.
I'm not trashing. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have a bunch of good short stories. I haven't even looked at the lineup, but again, you get to issue 1000. This is Superman. This is not about any other creator, right now, writer, artist. This is Superman's 1000 issue. Make him huge, man. I mean, do it about the brand. Don't worry about anybody else.
Should be a launching point.
Should be, and it's not, but it's still definitely recommend picking it up and reading it, because again, you'll have your Bendis story, which will leading into his era, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Now here, Batman 45. I cannot talk enough about this book, man. I'm loving it. Doesn't feel like anything is going on. I mean, you're seeing Tom King doing so much with Batman, not necessarily Bruce Wayne, and it's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you guys, by issue 50, you guys are gonna lose your minds on the twist this book is taking. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's not gonna even be a ruin. It's gonna be such a crazy twist. The next year, you might see Batman like, and like a dark Batman,
right.
And is it a keeper? I don't know. I mean, they're keepers, but the variant, you got a Jim Lee variant. That might be worth something down the line.
Not my favorite variant. The artwork on it's not his best work.
I mean, Immortal Man #1 after canceled resolicitation finally comes out last week, and does he even draw it, or is it Ryan Benjamin? Who is it? Who's drawing the book? I don't know. Whatever. But I don't know if it's a keeper, but it's definitely a solid read. I don't think the #1 is holding like it did in the beginning, is it? I haven't looked at one.
No, I think it's steady. It's pretty much
steady.
At the same place,
It's by now everybody's caught up with orders and everything, so it's not that impossible book to find because everybody found out how good Tom King is, and I mean, it could be good down the line, where you have the set. You do have a New Gods movie coming out. DC is working on that. We'll see, but it could be down the street. And my last DC read, I mean, I don't think of as a keeper, but I love Super Sons, and that's going to be sad to see that book go away once it's done. But I like, those are my reads. I don't have any keepers for DC, but they're good reads.
Yeah,
they're good reads.
This week, my DC variants, which you could put under the hold or sell. I get the Aquaman number 35, be covered by Joshua Middleton. Everything he's been putting out lately has been beautiful. Really good stuff for the personal collection, and you know, it's we don't really talk about it, but the guts, what's inside the book, is was more important than the cover itself. Unless the cover is just something amazing,
right?
Like and that author, or not, excuse me, and that artist becomes like really, really hot down the line. The most important thing about any book is what the guts of the book, what's going on in the book. So if nothing important happens in the book,
it's a waste of art.
Some of these covers will heat up shortly, but then they'll disappear. So a lot of these are quick flips. But for the personal collection, Josh Middleton, especially these Aquaman covers, are amazing.
He's doing some cool stuff with that.
Speaking of books with guts that aren't the best, Green Lanterns number 45. I haven't picked this before because I know the book is not good. Like Kat will tell you, it's not his favorite book. It's just not. It's not selling. Nobody really cares about it. But Brandon Peterson, his artwork on these covers for the last, I think, 4 issues have been amazing.
They are beautiful. I mean, he's been around. Man, Brandon Peterson's been around for decades. You know, for days now. And he was a good artist back then, and he's actually better now than when he was back in the day. Right. You know, I really love his artwork, but like you said, it's on a book that has no guts.
Right.
You know.
But the reason why I bring it up is the cover's beautiful. You see the picture right there, and nobody's ordering these books.
They got low print, like both
yeah.
Aquaman, both you know. So you could have a situation where a few years from now, depending on what happens at the time, variants could, and it's been proven. You got variants now from 5-10 years ago that back then you're sitting going like, what the hell? Now they're money. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you about the Liber Mejo cover on Adventure Comics with Darkseid. I mean, I still have a few copies with the $6.99 price tag. I was trying to sell them back in the day, and now the books I sold the 9.8 for $700-800.
Yeah.
So you don't know what could happen, and if you have the room, definitely keep them.
Pick it up, yeah. This is a hold it. That's definitely a hold it book. Also, Harley Quinn number 42, B cover. This book in particular does have guts. It's the old woman Harley storyline, kind of mocking the old man Logan storyline. So it's an alternate reality, a future Harley. We've never seen this before, so this is technically a first appearance of a character. Something to check out. Read the book, get the regular cover. Pick up this Frank Cho cover because it's also he does
Frank Cho. No, he's solid on Harley Quinn.
Exactly.
He's solid on women covers. You know, he does really good job. I mean, DC, and then again, I love on the variant end is the Super Sons, Dusty Nguyen.
Okay.
I love his art. It's just, I mean, he doesn't have any heat to him. I mean, Descender was hot for a minute. I don't know how it's holding. I think they were talking a TV show on point. I don't know what happened, but he still could be one of these guys to where a few years down the line, given what's out on the market at the time, his watercolors covers, I mean, they're great. Yeah. They're great covers. They're fun to look at, you know. And the book is good. Super Sons is going to be one of those books that DC kills because of one person. Whatever. It's a good read right now. Enjoy it.
Check it out. All right. How about your
I got a couple. Look, there's...
do you consider Image an indie?
Look, it's Marvel, DC, and everybody else.
Okay.
Simple as that. I'm sorry. But I'm a big fan of John Wick. And
when you come into DJ's Universal Comics, John Wick or Fast and the Furious seem to be on his
or something, or Star Wars, or anything else that's action-packed. It's on the movie. But the comic, when number 1 came out, I read it, and I was really surprised how good it was and how relatable to the movie was. So I felt like I was seeing the movie in the comic book. So I really enjoyed number 1, and this is just purely a read, not a keeper. I don't think it's going to be worth money down the line. I just think it's a really good read.
If you're a John Wick fan, something to pick up.
It's, just a good action book. I mean, because it is an action book.
And that's from Dynamite?
From Dynamite.
Okay.
And then Image got a few things, but the one book and I've been asked for the past few months, the one book I'm looking forward to reading is Skyward, which is by Joe Henderson, the showrunner on Lucifer. And I love Lucifer. I know it's not the comic book, but it's such a good show. So a lot of people have been asking for this book. I'm curious. I like the show, so we'll see.
Something to check out.
Something to check out. You got Infidel #2. I'm #1. I read it. It was good, but I wasn't too sold on it. But #2, we'll see if it gets better. And yeah, talking about the center and Dusty Nguyen, his new issue is out this week. But yeah, I mean that, and Lazarus, that's always a solid book from Greg Rucka. But yeah, that's my Image and my indies. Okay.
For me this week, this is definitely a sell it. If you can get your hands on WWE #16, there's a 1/15 variant with Alexa Bliss on the cover. She's one of the bigger female stars in WWE right now. The cover's great. You'll see the picture right there. There's two things you can do with this book. Try to find a show where she's signing, because the wrestlers are always signing places. If you get this book signed, it's a great book to flip online. WWE fans will buy everything. I kid you not, everything, especially if they're Alexa Bliss fans. Or you hold on to it, you get it graded, see what happens. A lot of these books, Boom Comics does not make, their print runs are really tiny.
Yep.
You can actually buy this online from their website, and once they're gone, they're gone. They don't reprint these covers. So something to look into. Alexa Bliss, WWE #16. Let's move on to Marvel. What do we got?
Well, there's a lot of keep 'ems, read 'ems, but you got, again, Amazing Spider-Man $7.99. We finally had the Red Goblin last week, and man, I with all the complaints about $7.98 and all that, dude, I'm loving this book, and Peter Parker actually, I don't think he's ever done it, but he actually swears. He says, believe me, read the line. So it was a solid read, and just to see Norman, see Slott, how he uses Norman with the Carnage symbiote, it's like, holy shit. But I'm looking forward to $7.99.
Second to last issue for Slott.
Second to last. And again, we're going to see, here we have Action Comics 1000 with a bunch of short stories. Could be good, or they're just short stories because people want to write. And here you have Amazing Spider-Man 800, Dan Slott's last issue on Spider-Man, and he's been on it for 10 plus or something like that.
He's been on
for a while. Man, we're gonna talk about the difference in, because he's gonna leave you with something.
Right.
I mean, after reading 700, where you ended up with Doc Ock and Peter's body. I mean, that's the type of, you want that, especially on a round number. You want that boom, that bang, that holy. You sit back, you go, I didn't see this coming. So $7.99. I've been loving the Avengers read. They're coming close to finishing the series, and then Jason Aaron's taking over. I'm looking forward to that. There's Daredevil, and after last issue, man, I'm in and out with Daredevil, but the last issue was just crazy. I mean, we're talking, if you haven't read it, you're about a week too.
It's another example of what you're supposed to do with round
number.
I
mean, yeah. Kingpin dies, and Matt Murdock ends up as mayor of New York, but yet he's in jail because he's in this Daredevil suit. So you're like, what the hell? So I mean, I'm looking forward to that read. I like Greg Pak a lot, and he's another one of those storytellers that you can tell he cares when he writes a book, and he's doing this whole run with Amadeus Cho's The Hulk, with the whole World War Hulk 2, and I know they're building towards something.
Right.
And especially with Immortal Hulk #1 coming out, I mean, they're building something, so it's definitely a good read. You have your Infinity Countdown #2. #1, all the one-shot, I mean, they've been selling out. They've gone to second print, so everybody's excited about it. Yes, yeah. I mean, the movie, the more you see, the more you're like, holy cannolis, I don't want to, there's, then you have your, actually another book that's under the radar, and I mean, it's not your biggest seller, but I love Let me see. I know who I love Matthew Rosenberg. He's doing such great work with. He did Phoenix, which was, I thought it was good. Punisher's insane, but he's doing Tales of Suspense with Bucky and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye and Black Widow. And I'm gonna tell you, this miniseries has been insane. I mean, a lot of intrigue, assassination. You see Black Widow. They're playing on the whole Red Ledger thing and all that stuff. I mean, it's really good read. You got Weapon X, which has been solid, and then X-Men Gold. You know, they're leading up again to yet another wedding, Kitty and Colossus, but
that's been, that wedding's been what, 30 years?
You know, yeah,
almost 40 years.
Yeah, but you know what? The X-Men books have progressively gotten better, and I think at some point you're gonna see, again, once the ink, once they sign this Fox deal and everything's in, you're gonna see a push for the X-Men books again. Yeah. Because again, you gotta remember, X-Men was the book back in the day, going through 70s, 80s, 90s. X-Men was the book everybody wanted to be, even Marvel, and within their own titles. So you got a lot of good readings. There's probably some holds, but I don't want to be responsible for any of that. I won't say hold it, but they're definitely good reads.
I only have one pick for Marvel this week. It's a variant. Cable number 156. This is a personal choice because I'm a big Ariel Olivetti fan. I like his. I feel like he does it on computer. It almost looks like. But he's got a very distinct look to his artwork, and I think it's a 1 in 10 ratio.
Could be. I don't.
It's an odd
ratio.
It's not a 1 in 25. But if you get your hands on it, pick it up. Especially if you're an Olivetti fan. You know, I don't see this book moving anywhere. I know Bishop comes back though, so that's actually a pretty big.
Well, Bishop's been in Astonishing X-Men.
Well, this is Bishop.
But this is the Bishop.
Bishop comes back for Cable and Hope in this one.
From us, so
I'm not sure what
Scott. Okay, yeah.
The way, but they're pumping this issue up as something big because I think Cable and Bishop haven't been in the same pages for a while now.
Right.
Since Generation.
And I don't know if I mentioned it. Did I? Again, from a reading level, Dark Horse, The Black Hammer, Age of Doom #1, Jeff Lemire. Those books, the whole Black Hammer line, the main book, and all the one-shots and miniseries they're doing out of that, really solid read, guys. You know, definitely make sure you support that book. Damn, we're a little bit off on Monday. This Monday's been like Monday whacked.
It's been all over the place. People coming in, phone calls.
It's just notifications everywhere, dogs, everything. but that's what it is. It's real.
Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us this week. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Smash that like button. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. If you're listening on iTunes, make sure to leave a 5-star review. And we'll see you next time. Kat, take us away.
Put the iPad down. Get out. Go buy a comic book. Support your local comic book stores wherever they are. You don't want to see it go away. And support print. Enjoy.